With Lieutenant Watanabe, it really was how I ended up role-playing that phone call that really screwed up that whole thing, because I didn't mean to make it sound like you were going to get arrested if you talked to him.
It sounded like it, though.
Yeah, that was so what it came across.
It was more that he had information about that death that would have led you guys down another path. But I realized after we had role played out that conversation how the whole thing sounded, and I thought it would have been really cheap for me to have him call you back and be like, just to let you know,
I'm not gonna arrest you.
I'm not gonna arrest you. I just need to share important clues with you, right? Like,
yeah.
And this is on a personal note, and I shouldn't think this way, but I do sometimes, is that we started this game a long time ago, and in that time, I became aware that there was a Lieutenant Watanabe in the Spider-Man game, and it upset me that there was... I was like, people are going to think that I came up with that, like, I'm using that name because of this, and...
there's tons of, like, Watanabes.
Sure, but it was like a Lieutenant Watanabe.
Right.
And so I became like, I became okay with that character never coming back. Because there's a character in... Yeah. That apparently they just made for the game. Like,
they don't
thanks
even...
for,
of course.
doing that.
You couldn't have considered Dark Future Dice before you did that? Come on.
I know.
You know what would be funny is, like, if in our movie version, if we had a movie version of our campaign, Lieutenant Watanabe would be played by Ken Watanabe, the, like, only Japanese actor in Hollywood that everyone uses.
Yeah. He'd be good for the role. Yeah,
he would.
He'd be upset when he read the script and was like, where come I'm only in the first act?
I just kind of drift away for no reason, just because they're scared of me.
Yeah.
Because they're scared of me.
Right.
Yeah. You wanted also to talk about, well, we already talked about how you, well, no, not really. How do you organize the roles and how much information you mentioned a little bit of this as we were talking before the podcast, and I was like, stop, don't save it for the podcast. So you say that sometimes you have like is it like 3 versions of it, the kind of information you can get depending on your role?
Yes, yeah, that's what I do sometimes. I mean, sometimes a lot of the roles are pass fail, like, do you do this or do you not do it, right? But in the case of doing things like if you're investigating a room, or with like, I had these roles for Sleazy Chan and Alloy Knight when they were looking at the cryo chamber to know what they could do with it. If there's like if you just succeed, you get a certain amount of information, but then there are tiers of success that'll give you more and more information. And they each rolled really high on those, so you ended up getting all the information about the stuff. That kind of idea is I use sometimes when I've planned out a role. A lot of times we're rolling on something that I had no plans for because you guys came up with an idea and we're acting it out. And sometimes in the heat of the moment I'll be like, well, if they really succeed, maybe they can get this, but that's how I've seen that done in a few campaigns that I was reading, written campaigns of from Cyberpunk, and I thought it was an interesting idea.
Yeah, I find it works. Like, I mean, kind of rolling into the highlights here. A good example of that is my perception roll on Sleazy Chan.
Oh my god,
human perception.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
that was one of the highlights.
It made me like it did make me kind of sad and embarrassed for her, but it also made me like her more.
Yeah,
I don't know, it was so weird.
I just like imagine in my head that after I did that role, like in fiction, DP just like there's like effect that happens in movies where you like go through like the pupil and into like
into the iris,
into the
brain synapses.
You see like their childhood as she's like a kid, and then she's like slap your ass or something like that.
So weird.
And like that was hilarious. I thought. Stuff like that can happen in Cyberpunk, where it's just like, oh, you rolled a 10 randomly on this thing that had low stakes.
The lowest stakes
but you
possible.
get some weird shit out of it, yeah.
Yeah. And I think we all ended up just like really liking her.
Yeah.
And so even though she was a character specifically, I tried to design to deter you guys from spending time with her. It ended up having the opposite effect.
All your plans always backfire with us.
They do. That's what I'm learning is that I don't understand you guys, the psychology of you guys, because you guys do the opposite of what I'm trying, my intended effects. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, we definitely. Maybe it's because we're new at this.
Maybe
we have.
No, I think it's I think it's the nature of you guys.
We're just weird. We're just weird.
I just like weird people.
Yeah, I think it's also just like when you put that much effort into someone, they end up being more interesting than the other NPCs.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that could be.
It didn't
too.
matter that it was weird. It was just like, oh, okay.
She's got stuff going on. She's kind of a mystery.
Yeah. She also had a nice hotel. Well, no, a shitty hotel for you guys to sleep in.
Yeah,
so
it was
that's
nicely guarded.
Yeah.
She was one of the most helpful characters.
Yeah, in the end, she kind of saved our asses.
And that was great. I was so happy with those moments that I didn't really care. She had grown beyond what her initial intention was.
Yeah.
And, I had a lot of fun with her. It was my kind of intention to give you guys NPCs that were effective at what they did, like good at their jobs, but had,
Weird quirks.
weird quirks or issues that would make it difficult to work with them.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Alloy Knight's a great example.
Oh my god.
Of that. Oh my god.
He was the most annoying. Like
going into the highlight when you threw his walkie-talkie right off the bridge
immediately.
Yeah.
I feel like that
as
was
soon as he tried to call us in, I was like, no.
And you're just
You
like,
talk to
you
him,
talk to
Patrick.
him, yeah.
DP.
I feel like that was the moment for me that I realized that, like, this is gonna be good. Like this, because that was like the first episode and or the first chapter, and it was like I was kind of felt awkward trying to negotiate. I was still having fun negotiating with Alden Kane, but then after meeting Alloy Knight and joking around with him, and then just Lindsay throwing it was just like, this podcast is going to be fun.
The moment I knew it was going to be fun was in the first episode where we met up with Alloy Knight in the hotel, and we were just kind of like, okay, so do you trust this guy? In the other room, and we just kind of like look out at him and then pop back in.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
That was pretty funny.
There was that great moment where he gave you the tour too.
Yeah. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
This is a shower.
Can you handle making ramen? Because that's all we need you to do right now.
The food was so pathetic.
Yeah, it was so day-old donuts,
Day-old
coffee,
donuts.
cold coffee, and like ramen noodles was our diet.
Yeah, we got like canned
When we
spaghetti
could.
or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember what
No,
it
it was just ramen noodles,
Was it?
instant
Yeah.
ramen. Yeah.
Instant ramen? Oh my god. That part where I was like, can someone make instant ramen while I'm having a shower? And you guys are just like, no.
No.
And then Greg's like, no, I'm not making it. I'm like, oh, god damn it.
Don't fucking look at me.
Fine. Just trying to be efficient with time.
It's like,
here.
I have to cook in real life. I'm not going to cook in our fictional lives, too. Sorry.
Yeah.
I guess I just
No.
wanted to like
Put
speed
my
things
foot
along. I
down.
didn't want to have to be like, showering, then cooking. Then.
Yeah, I know. How inconvenient, right?
Oh my god. Whatever.
I like those moments because you normally skip over those in games where people are, arguing about food or eating
Mundane
donuts.
shit,
But
yeah.
I love one of my greatest joys is just having those things set up and then imagining you're like, especially in the motel with the day old donuts and the coffee, you're kind of like, meeting about how you guys were going to do this thing. Just picturing it in my head was
like the
giving
details.
me such great joy.
it's a pretty
Sleazy
funny
Chan
scene.
just in the bathrobe and
Well, we were trying to convince her to like sleep too. I was like,
Yeah.
why aren't you sleeping? What are you doing? No, you can't go on this important mission with like 4 hours of sleep. That's not okay.
yeah.
I remember we bought those like sleep
Inducers, yeah.
machines.
and I was just like, that was like one of those purchases that was just like a no-brainer to me. But
Yeah.
I mean, how much do they really help? Because you can just skip it when you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
no, you can
And
recuperate.
The other
from
characters
your
didn't
injuries.
have them, so we
Yeah,
had to
they
wait for
needed
them.
them.
So I guess we got a head start on the day. We
had
had
We ended up giving it to them instead.
There was a moment where you walked into Greta and Alloy Knights like really early to talk to them because you guys had gotten fresh sleep and they were still trying to sleep like normal people.
Yeah. We're like, we got 4 hours and we're good to go.
Yeah.
You can try out these machines.
You were offering, you offered a lot of people. A lot of people used your machines.
It's actually really useful.
Yeah.
I guess another highlight would be the balaclavas. That was pretty funny.
You put these on because we're going to be wearing these for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it was really fun to play as DP, who just is completely supposed to be completely opposite to me. You know, I'm not a smooth talker. I'm not a like a fixer kind of guy. I'm not a people person. I'm not good at negotiating or making deals. I'm kind of more introverted, and he's supposed to be this extroverted guy. So I feel like that naturally kind of created a weird character who what he does is like supposedly all of those things of like an extrovert and like. But the way he does it comes across as an introvert, like
that
not comfortable doing any of those things.
I just imagine that there's kind of like a weird presence or energy about him that kind of makes people want to, like, charms people.
Yeah.
But it really does come out the way you say it, like when you intimidate or persuade people. That's how it's happening in my head. Yeah.
So they're just kind of like, I don't know why that worked, but it does. I just like them.
I couldn't believe that had worked when we went to the hotel to question Ruby, and like we had to get out, and the security was on to us. And DP's just like, I'm just gonna go for a jog. Don't worry about me.
I'm just going for a run.
What's up with you? What's up with you?
That was another case of you guys just throwing me completely for a loop.
I was thrown for a loop. We were all thrown for a loop. We were all like, what do we do?
Yeah.
What do we do now?
Because, this might be saying too much, but whatever. We're dissecting it. I was like, okay, well, the consequences of them just going off and doing this thing is another casino girl is going to die. Today, right? And then you guys were like, we're gonna go. Let's go see her.
I don't want her to die, though.
And I was like, I wasn't expecting you to go to the casino.
Really?
Like, I thought you guys were doing this heist thing, but now you're going to the casino. Well, she's not dead yet, so. It was supposed to be like the cliffhanger to the end of the episode.
What? Oh, man.
So
really?
And then you guys showed up there and did a bunch of stuff that confused me. And I had sort of planned for if you did this and if you did that, but then you did other things that I didn't have plans for.
Yeah.
And I had to give it to you guys. That, like, you got...
We got through. We saved another person.
You saved her by just
being weird.
Being weird. Like,
I think that's the best lesson of all. It's like, no matter how weird or fumbly you are, you can still save lives.
Yeah, it was a big thing, And at that point, I was, we were committed to the heist thing, so I was like, she has the locker key. It makes sense that she did.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But I was...
It felt like oddly heroic to like save her too. I wanted that like hero moment where I was like, I'm gonna ride out with this casino girl. It's all safe and sound.
You got a great hero moment. Yeah. We're riding with her on the back of the motorcycle, and I'm crying in the back of a taxi.
I think those were just two great highlights, and that's kind of when I realized that this was going to be like not like any campaign I've ever played. That's for sure.
Where your fixer character's just crying on
the side of the road.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And that's the thing. I think that the success of what you guys pulled off is that you guys did, I think, the most honorable that you could have. You weren't the most thorough. There were lots of clues that you could have picked up on that may have changed the outcome. Mm-hmm. Like, Greta's betrayal and that sort of thing. Mm. But, you did save the lives of two people. And you didn't get paid for it at all.
No.
You were willing to, if this was a moral test, you guys did morally came out pretty great.
In Cyberpunk. so stupid to be morally high.
It's interesting
That's
though.
a
It's
cynical
super
viewpoint.
interesting, like
Yeah.
that you're not cynical and
that's
money
why-
grubbing. And I think that's
think,
why.
Yeah, I know stuff about the world of Cyberpunk, and I know how cynical it can be, and like a lot of the stories that take place there are very cynical. And I just wanted to be like, what if we told a story that was optimistic and like had hope?
I
for
also think
people?
it's part of your character that
Yeah.
maybe that's why you have so many friends is because
Yeah.
you're kind of like
Just
the
like a good
Robin Hood
person.
character, and
Yeah.
we kind of
Besides all the murder, you're a good person.
Yeah.
Besides my my love
don't-
of
yeah,
cutting
it's-
people up with my monofilament.
don't
Yeah.
fuck with her,
It's
but
super satisfying. to
but
be
you were
honest.
committed to the whole you were like, we're going to figure out this Callista thing.
You're
We're
gonna
going to
save her.
save Ruby. We're going to go
Do
do,
the
that.
right thing.
I think if
that
it was
was
just
a really
get
cool
paid or
character
not.
moment.
Yeah.
If it was up to DP, he might have just taken the money and run. Because
Yeah.
there was definitely a turning point. I think about halfway through basically where I was talking about killing Alden Kane and robbing him.
Yeah.
Where it was like
That would
that
have been
character.
so slimy.
We could have gone the
Yeah.
cynical route and just like taken the money that we could and ran and not worried about Callista and I think because you were just like, no, we're not doing this.
No.
We're
Yeah.
saving Callista. You were really invested in that, and I think it was like, okay, well, I don't. I guess I kind of role played it like DP kind of trusts Barb's opinion
Moral
and,
Yeah, and I
and
think
trusts
you were-
her to like.
I think he is a good person. He's not a complete slime ball, and I
No.
think that you were trying to squeeze money out of the situation
Yeah.
up to the end of to a point where you were just like, I can't.
what can I
We
do?
have to get out of here in order
Yeah.
to survive,
Yeah.
and that made a really cool and interesting tension. And
Yeah.
and so it was interesting to see, you guys drive the story because you could have gone different routes. There were, the sort of Alden side of things. There was the Marquis side of things, and the Daughters of the Storm side of things were all set up kind of early on in my head. And you could have, depending on your actions, could have gone down different routes that would have led to different results.
Yeah.
So it was surprising. I thought you guys would be caught up with the bad guys for a little bit instead of just completely jumping ship and trying to find, and doing things for yourself. But it was cool that happened. I think the consequence of it is that there's a lot of story threads that got lost, but maybe a lot of information. Like you guys saved the day, but maybe you don't know the
A
full
lot.
story
Yeah,
about everything.
No.
And that kind of makes for cool stuff that could come up later on. So
Yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah. You were saying that part of one of the consequences of us just going straight for the storage container was that like there was a lot of the pieces of the mystery that were going to start to be filled in.
Yeah.
And by the time we got to there, we
It would
would
make
know
more
kinda
sense,
like
yeah.
the story of the whole petrochem and Biotechnica and their kind of like betrayal of these scientists and like all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That ended up being kind of had to feel like it was a bit more of an exposition dump at the end because of.
And again,
Because
all
of
of
that.
that exposition was just what Deborah would have known, right?
Yeah.
And then there were many other things that she wouldn't have known that would have, been part of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But I didn't. It was like the welcome like reward for all the work.
Yeah,
that we did. It was like what
exactly.
happened?
What
What is
happened?
all this shit?
I'm
So it
glad
was cool.
because, at the end, you kind of have to wrap things up, and I don't like to railroad, but there was a point where the story had to end. I guess that level of the campaign, and there was no chance of you guys figuring out the Greta thing because
No.
that didn't.
We didn't really have. She kind of got injured a little early
Yeah.
on, and we
Yeah.
we kind of couched her for most of
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
exactly. So she didn't get a chance to present it, and the other clues that you saw were either lost or you just didn't have time to go through them. So, but it was, still, I think, a good result.
Yeah.
But I was worried about having to write the ending in that kind of way because, you always want the story to keep going, but we had to, wrap it up. And
Yeah.
I wanted I didn't want to give you guys the opportunity to just circumvent maybe the mistakes that you made or get all of the information about Callista or be able to completely resolve that because I wanted to leave some of that open for future campaigns.
Yeah, which is cool.
So I'm glad you guys liked it and didn't feel too constricted or anything at the end there.
No, it felt like, it's the conclusion. It's like the climax, I think, is where it could go one way or the other. It could go multiple different ways. And then at the conclusion, it's kind of like, it's the result of what we just did.
Yeah.
Which makes sense to me. But yeah, I think the campaign, when you look back on it, those 10 chapters, I feel like it was a pretty great ride.
Pretty cool ride.
I had a good time.
Yeah.
I'm really glad.
So I think, unless you guys have any more highlights you want to talk about real quick, we can...
Just cutting off someone's arm for touching my bike was really nice. It was...
throwing.
It was like
there
a
was
visceral, gut thing. Like, when I hear, like, in real life, okay, I've had my bike stolen, like, twice. And it makes me so furious. Like, even just thinking about it right now, I'm still upset about it. So when this happened in the game, when someone was touching my fake bike, Cyberpunk bike, I was like, no, not again. And I just, like, lost my shit and, like, cut off his arm with, like, my filament blade without even asking questions.
That was great.
I was like, it was so satisfying.
Yeah,
for sure.
That was funny. There was a lot of good arm work in this campaign.
We were like grabbing arms, throwing arms, cutting off arms.
Yeah. For sure.
I think that was one of my favorite little awkward moments of chapter 9, where I just picked up the arm and you're like, okay. I'm like, I was like, what are you gonna do with that? I was like, I'm gonna use it later. I was like, don't make it weird. Like,
okay. What?
It was pretty funny.
You just used it to intimidate someone later.
Yeah. Well, as soon as you guys were like, no, we understand. That's a good call. I'm just asking, like, where are you putting it?
Yeah.
I like that arm also got shot in a fumble roll too. There was kind of like an exciting, maybe I should keep that arm going as like a...
The arm is still with us. It shows up again.
It shows that it's preserved or takes a life of its own. Yeah.
New favorite character, fan favorite, the arm with a bullet hole in it.
Right. The highlight, the whole every time a flashbang was used was a highlight for me.
It was cursed. We were cursed to
the
never throw
flashbangs,
something.
I thought were such a good purchase. I was so excited. I was this
I
is going to get us out of so many situations.
From the beginning. I'm like, why are you getting explosives?
Yeah.
No. We do not have that skill.
I'm like, it was the beginning of tactical team. The tactical team of DP and Barb, where we no longer just go in guns blazing. We use flashbangs and smoke grenades and grenades. And,
effectively, though, not so much.
No, exactly. Completely backfired on me.
Yeah.
But I think it made for one of the funnier scenes in the campaign, where we're just all grabbing onto each other and pulling ourselves out of the room.
Out of the room.
Yeah.
As we're blind. And also, someone said that we should make a T-shirt that says "Get out your melee weapons. We're feeling around."
We're feeling it out this time.
It'd be good. Yeah. We should consider that. Yeah, it was great. That part was great. Even though it was part of everything falling apart for my plans, I knew that we'd still be okay.
Yeah.
I knew that we'd still go into some funny directions, but
Yeah. Well, you held it together. I feel like there was no point where, other than the part where we just did not go to the gang war. That was a pretty obvious moment where you're just like, okay, so you're not gonna
put out.
It wasn't even that you weren't going; it's that you weren't interested at all. It's that you wanted to pretend it didn't happen, right?
Oh, we're sorry, Titus.
The whole no, I mean, there's nothing to apologize for. I just didn't. I didn't know how to roll with that one.
But every other time, it wasn't obvious if you were freaking out or anything like that.
Right? Yeah. No. I mean,
or if like we had just like superseded something that you hadn't like meant us to do. Okay, so I think we're wrapping it up now, and it's time for a couple of announcements that we talked about at the beginning.
Okay. Yeah.
Why? Did you have something else that you wanted to cover real quick?
Oh, I mean, I guess I just really quickly wanted to ask about what you guys, your hopes for the new campaign.
Right.
To talk about that a little bit. We talked a bit about what we liked about this one. What do you guys want to see in vague or even specific terms happen in the next campaign?
Well, our characters level up, number one.
So there's no leveling up, but I will
Okay.
give you. I will
Well,
give
our
you
skill
that.
points.
I will finally give you guys those improvement points that I've been holding on to. Yeah, you will definitely have that for sure.
I guess I liked how it was like a mystery, but then also like a heist,
Yeah.
all in one. I
like that too.
I guess I don't want to
Another
direct you
mystery.
to like do any specific new genre or anything like that, but like I liked how it had multiple facets, and it would be cool if like that kind of continued, but maybe with some change, a different vibe this time or
Tone
something.
or I
Right.
don't know. Yeah.
So it would be cool to learn more about like the Daughters of the Storm and
Yeah.
Callista and how that whole thing shook out.
Yeah.
I have to say I liked. What was it? Where were we? San Diego.
Right.
It was okay, but I think we could use another location, maybe
Yeah.
New City.
Okay.
For sure.
Other than that,
I mean, you guys, yeah,
we kind of have
burned
to
a
get
lot of
out of
bridges
there.
in San Diego
exactly.
anyway. Yeah.
Anyway, so
So for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess other than that, I'm not sure. I don't really have much as far as expectations for the next campaign.
no.
Okay, cool.
Maybe just
yeah.
bring back Sleazy Chan
Oh yeah.
for sure.
I mean, I think that.
We're escaping in the submarine, as
Yeah.
I said at the end of the
We're all
chapter.
gonna be-
that's not happening.
No.
But I think like a certain cyberpunk group has formed out of that campaign. That we might be making new character portraits for tonight. So yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we'll. The Sleazy Chan's gonna come back. Alloy Knight's gonna come back. New location, I was thinking that too. And the mystery thing, I kind of like it as a framing device for these campaigns, even if it's difficult and it might fall apart. It still gives their like an overall goal. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I want to keep those elements for sure. Okay, cool.
So, moving on to those announcements, we are first one. Hopefully, is exciting for you as it is for us. We are going to do 2 episodes a month. So we're going to move to
Bi-monthly.
bi-weekly. It would be bi-weekly.
Oh, bi-weekly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
I know that we're not always super strict with when the episodes come out, but you gotta have to cut us a little slack because we have a pretty busy schedule. So if we miss a week or something like that, it's gonna come out the next week. So we won't.
It'll always come out. It's not like we're not going to release it.
we're gonna be recording 2 episodes
Yeah.
at once
At once.
each month. So those 2 episodes will be coming out
Parsed out a month later. Yeah.
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 Every other week, unless we get too busy and we'll have to skip it.
And we will
Skip a
let you
week.
know about
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
But,
exactly.
But the exciting thing that we're dancing around here is that we're doubling up.
We're doubling up,
We're going to
yeah.
get more Dark Future dice, and that should be awesome.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's gonna make for, I feel like, it's just make for more role playing for us, which is awesome. And the stories can maybe be just have maybe a bit more momentum because they're not gonna be like one every month.
Yeah.
That's gonna be cool too.
Yeah. It should be really cool.
With that though comes more editing for me, and so and like I said, we're pretty busy working on our other game, and so on YouTube we've been putting in the illustrations in context with what's going on in the podcast, and that takes quite a long time because I have to listen to the podcast then 3 times to edit, and then another time to make sure it's good, and then another time to put in those. And so we're gonna stop putting in those illustrations, and it's just gonna be the looping animation on YouTube from now on.
But you will have access to the images. I think we'll make those available on Patreon for free.
That's what we're gonna start doing.
Yeah.
We're gonna put in all the maps and the images for the
Character art.
episodes up on Patreon for free, and no paywall behind that. So you can go there, and we'll talk about. And when we do it, we'll remind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we to be honest, we don't really get like most of the downloads and people listening are on podcast services and stuff like that. They don't really go to the YouTube, so it's really just not. It ends up not being worth it.
Yeah, and I mean we had to cut some things out in order to make this 2 episodes a month thing happen, and we just thought, that it was cool that we did that, but it wasn't giving.
It wasn't worth the
effort.
The amount of effort when
We'll
we
still
could
be making those illustrations and images, and like we said, they'll be on our Patreon for free, so you can look at them.
Yeah,
but they
I'm
just
sure
won't be.
Any of you, if you could take more episodes or those illustrations being put in context,
Yeah,
you'd take the second
You take the
episode, right? Come on.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
we're gonna. Speaking of when the next episode is going to be out, it's going to be out next month,
Yeah,
which is this one's coming out in September. So it would be in October. Ooh, it should be a spooky one.
wait, this one's coming out in September?
Yeah, because
we have a finale in this month.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So in October, we will be starting that bi-weekly schedule.
And we might start off with something that kind of fills in the gaps between the last campaign and the new one, before going right into the campaign. And I'm not sure how extensive that's going to be, and I'm going to try to make that interesting and maybe have you guys role play like moments that happen as the time passages. I mean, as the time passes.
Yeah.
But it should be good, and it will at least set up, the campaign, the new campaign, which is continuing some things, but in some ways will be a lot of new things too.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, so once again,
I guess just one last thing. I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been giving us 5-star reviews, that's been leaving great comments.
Listening and downloading.
Yeah, you guys
podcast.
have really. It's the reason that we're moving up to 2 episodes a month now is because you guys all your feedback and all your excitement over it, and the really nice things that everyone's been saying on with the iTunes reviews. We've done multiple podcasts in the past.
Yeah.
And we've asked for reviews and gotten either 1 or 0. So it's really nice that this time we asked for them, and we got tons of them. So thank you so much for everybody that's sending those reviews.
Yeah.
1, it helps our listings on iTunes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But 2, it just helps for us to see that and
helps our confidence.
It makes us feel like we're
good.
doing something cool, and that there are people that care about it and want to hear more of it, and
so please keep them coming. We love them. We love hearing from you guys. And it's been great. I mean, on a personal note, I've never done this in any kind of public setting before, so it's been nice to hear people liking my stories and my style, because this all happened when I was younger in basements somewhere. There was no wider forum, so it's cool to see that people are liking this and getting something out of it, because it's fun for us and we love doing it, and it's something that I've been passionate about for a while, so it's super cool to see you guys liking it. So please keep them coming, and if you've been listening and you have really enjoyed Dark Future Dice but haven't left us a comment, please let us know. Even just a hey, love it or whatever. We love hearing that.
Hey, 5 stars. Or give us a 5-star review and say 0 stars, because that would be real confusing and fun. I guess we should talk about, there have been some people that have given us some great comments on YouTube as well. So
thank
you.
Sure.
If you want to go there on YouTube and leave a nice comment for us, that'd be awesome as well. And we appreciate everyone that has done that, and everyone that's followed us on Twitter. We've gotten some people on Twitter that are, it's at Rocket Adrift if you want to follow us, but they've been really nice as well. And of course, shout out to our Telsaurian Games who have been
they've been
really supportive and cool.
Really supportive and cool.
Yeah.
And
I guess we have an announcement that they will be
using our
take it away,
character
Titus.
Yeah. So they're putting together a jumpstart package for the new Cyberpunk Red. And 4 characters in that package will be characters from our podcast.
Yeah. Sleazy Chan, Alloy Knight, Barb, and DP.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So you can use them for your Cyberpunk Red campaigns.
Yeah. Super
and
exciting.
they'll be on the Our Talzorian website. They should be on as I speak. And they may have been on for a month or two when you hear this, but definitely check them out.
And if you listeners of Dark Future Dice will know, if you use that starter pack, that when you play DP, that he is not. The character sheet might say he's stable, and it might say he's serious, but he is not.
He's not.
So you have like a cheat sheet.
Yeah.
So
same
cool.
with Sleazy Chan saying that she doesn't have eyebrows.
You know that she does.
She does.
She does, at least paint on eyebrows.
Yeah.
She does at least appear to have eyebrows.
She appears to have eyebrows.
They may be a deception, like a lot of things she says, but yeah.
And with that, we'll bring this to a close. The first installment of the Dark Future Dice action.
See what we did there?
Yeah, you see that? And we'll probably be doing these in between campaigns to give Titus a little time to write a new one and give us a little breather from the last one. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next month on our new schedule, bi-weekly, with a new campaign.
Get hyped. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.